Hello and welcome to another quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix, of another furry visual novel. This one, La Automne. So basically autumn in French. Because the French. But anyways, before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io, just like I did. But I don't think they have a Patreon, so, I mean, it do be like that, I guess. Also, if you want me to mainline this game, aka do this as a Let's Play, tell me, and I'll go to a point which will put it up higher on the list. And if you have any other suggestions for furry visual novels, tell me, and I'll add it to the random number generator of games to do. Alright, I guess we have to do the synopsis, or else I guess we could. Anyways, at age 32, it is no understatement to say that Corey's life is going less than ideal. With both the company he worked for, as well as the recent relationship breaking, we find Corey hurt and looking to regain a sense of normalcy in his life. Deciding that spending the time with his family may help him center, he flies back to the sleepy cottage town he grew up in. What will he find when he gets back to his home turf? Well, anything can happen when the leaves start to fall. Which is a weird last thing to say there. It's like, anything can happen when leaves fall. Maybe it's a French thing. La Automne is a kinetic, linear narrative storytelling taking place over the place of 13 chapters. Eager theorycrafters may be able to start early using our chapters like page. I can understand what linear narrative is, which is, you know, it doesn't jump around like fuck. Major, minor. But what does kinetic storytelling mean? Maybe I'll just type it in. A visual novel in which the player does not interact with the story. Okay. So, let's reset my face and stop delaying this. I'm not delaying it on purpose though. Though actually, let's just turn down that stuff a bit more, because it still seems a bit high. And now we start. This is a work of fiction. Chapter 1. Les premières frames. It's a small plane. I think my dad used to call them puddle jumpers. What does that mean? Is that... I guess it's like going from England to France. The boy next to me has slept the entire flight, a solid frame pressing me against the wall of the plane. I reach up and brush the hair away from my eyes, then settle my forehead against the cool window. It's dark out. Lights are scattered across the land below in an intricate pattern. The intercom crackles. Ladies and gentlemen, we've begun our descent into Outer Falls. Please turn off and stow all electronic devices. At this time, we ask for all seatbacks to be returned to their full and upright position. Please secure any carry-on items. Stow your tray tables as we prepare for landing. There's a grunt, followed by a snore, as the boar shifts in the seat, either feigning sleep or missing the announcement entirely. Only when the steward makes his way through the aisles and shakes the gentleman awake does he follow directions. After, he has a scowl on his face. These planes are small, so it must be uncomfortable for him. I continue to gaze out the window, tugging at the collar of my jacket to help with airflow. My eyes wander back and forth across the changing landscape. Oops, sorry. Heavy fingers. Right, we're not playing Echo. Picking out the river, the town it's named for, along with the hard-top dome of the local college. Beers pop during the descent, and I swallow ooh-ooh hard to equalize the pressure. Tires give the faintest squeak as rubber hits the tarmac, and the plane shakes when all wheels finally touch down. There's those stars over there next to that guy. When I was younger, 3 different airlines serviced the local airport, but we no longer have the luxury options when flying to Alder Falls. Only the American Airlines now. These people are gonna get sued! But anyways, jokes aside. 2 flights a day, 1 in the morning, and 1 coming in ungodly late at night. As there's no other traffic to fight, it only takes a few minutes to taxi to the gate. The seatbelt sign dims, and all around me, people are hurrying to their feet and popping their overhead bins. I just wait. Breathing becomes a little easier as the boar steps into the aisle, finally giving me room to relax. The bunny couple across the way looks annoyed with its girth. They look over at me and assuming to find camaraderie, roll their eyes. I just wait. When the plane is almost empty, I reach down and pull a bursting backpack from beneath the seat in front of me. As I stand, I realize just how hot the plane is. I'm damp. I'm uncomfortable. God, I hate humidity. I pull my duffel free out of the overhead bin and sling it in front of me so I can make my way down the aisle. I don't know, for some reason this links made me think. It's a bit, they're drawn differently than I usually assume most of these visual novels do it, but I don't know what makes me think that. Maybe a high-end visual? I'm not saying that other people have low-ends, like, sprites, but still, it kind of looks high-end, you know? I guess that would be the word. As I exit the plane, the steward flashes me a very feline smile. The same that's appeared any time I've glanced his way during the flight. Oh, maybe it's like... I'm not sure if we'll ever meet this person again, but maybe it's one of those things where it's like, hey, it's one of those visual novels where they make sprites for pretty much everybody. Enjoy your stay in Alder Falls. He may be flirting, but it's late, it's hot, and I just want to go to bed, so all I can do is mumble in return. Thanks. The jet bridge is cool, refreshingly so. A sense of relief hits me as I make my way to the terminal. I have to say, that is one thing I always hate, which is, flying back to Texas, especially during summertime, and the door opens and you go through the airplane and you just get hit by the heat and humidity and you're like, fuck, I'm back here again. I mean, I live here, but still, doesn't mean I have to like it. My squint at the harsh fluorescent light is a big change from the plane. I don't have to look long though. The only other squirrel in the small waiting area stands, her lips pulling into a wide smile as she sees me and makes her way over. Hi, Moll. It comes out quiet as I draw my duffel to the side. The hesitance ache and happiness I'm feeling are present as I curl my arms over around her for a ferocious hug. So, wait a second. Maybe it's like a really small airport or something like that, because it kind of seems like he just got out of the airplane and she's there and hugging him like she hasn't seen him, which means she probably hasn't been on an airplane. But is this supposed to be before 9/11? Because for reference for people who were too young or couldn't remember, before 9/11, anybody that wasn't going on an airplane could go through security to, the terminal. Either to see people off or to, have them come back. But, after 9/11, if you don't have a ticket, you can't go through security. Anyways. Oh, it's good to see you. I can tell she's trying to hold back her emotions. The hug alone is proof of that. When it finally breaks, she places both her hands on my shoulders, an eyebrow raising as her tail flicks behind her. Checked luggage? I tap the duffel bag with my foot and shrug. Just this. Though it's more than the last time I was home. It's more than the last time I was home. She glances between the bag on the floor and the back of my back. You always did travel light. She goes to pick up the duffel bag, and I object. It's right, I got it. At that time, I realize my brothers aren't here. Caleb and Evan are at home? There's a rich chuckle before she answers. Dear, it's after 11 and a school night. I'm sure they're long asleep by now. Huh. How old are... Because isn't the main character, like, working? I mean, maybe they didn't go to college, I don't know. I give a mischievous grin. I don't know. When I was 16, this was about the perfect time to get up to trouble. Yeah, they might be inviting their boyfriends or girlfriends over. Her fingers prod my chest. When you're 16, your father was around to keep you in line. That stings a little, so I carry on smiling and heft my shoulders in a shrug. I grab my second bag and flick my head towards the exit. Without another word, we make our way to the crisp autumn air. Oh, it's autumn. Oh, right, because this game is l'automne, not le summer. She's parked a little ways down the land loading zone. One of the nice things about small airport is that they don't really bother with ticketing and towing. She's also friends with a few of the folks who work for American here, so that helps. I toss my bags in the back of her station wagon and climb into the front seat, making sure to pull my tail aside as to not sit on it. She starts the car and turns my way. Just want to let it warm up a little. It's getting pretty cold. Old. I can read. I nod in return. Kinda like us. There's a quiet sigh before she responds, even quieter. Yes. She pulls away from the curb and begins the quick drive back home. I haven't been back in 3 years, not since my father passed. She keeps looking forward, but finally says, I know it's late. I know you probably don't want to talk about it now. Your voice cracks slightly. But I just want you to know that I'm sorry about what happened with your job. And your partner. My eyes burn. I can't tell if it's the dry air from the plane, or if I'm trying to convince myself that because I can feel tears welling up. Thanks, Ma. I rub my nose against the back of my hand, then reach up to rub my eyes with the thumb and forefinger. The rest of the ride is pretty quiet, which helps me calm down and just think about bed. She pulls up and parks. I look out the window at the house I grew up in. You paint it? Yeah, it's green now. It's nice. We undo the seatbelts and step out into the cool air. I gather my bags and follow her up into the house. She glances over her shoulder. I've gone ahead and changed the sheets on your bed. You know where the towels are. If you want to take a shower tonight, that is. I gave her a warm smile, toeing off my shoes. I'd just like to go to bed. Okay, but seriously, a nice shower right before going to bed feels so nice. She gives me another quick hug and kisses my cheek before pulling back. Go do that. Sleep well. I make my way as quietly as I can upstairs and to my old room. Deja vu sets in hard as I look around. Aside from the few belongings I took when I graduated from college, everything is still the same. I set both my bags on the foot of the dresser, then looked at the collected toys, and trinkets scattered across the room, across the wooden surface. I can tell the room has been cleaned recently. God, sometimes, my ability to read is just, not good. My shoulders shrug as I work off my leather jacket. It's tossed into the nearby armchair. I peel the shirt I'm wearing off my body and undo my pants. Both are abandoned on the floor. And with the zip, I receive my phone charger from my pocket on the side of my backpack. Heavy feet guide me to the bed. My fingers curl beneath comforter, blanket, and sheet, drawing them back before I take a seat at the edge of the bed. My tail curls tight behind me as I lean down and take off my socks. Toes splay and then shift, pulling the surge protector from beneath the bed and plugging my phone into charge. I click the home button and swipe up to bring the device out of airplane mode. You really didn't do that as soon as the airplane landed? Jesus. Oh, well. Sorry. Yawn. It is the morning. It's funny, it's like, I yawn. It's too early. I yawn. It's pretty late. Yawn. I came from the gym yawning. What happens during visual novels? I wait a moment to seeing if I have any new messages before climbing under the pile of blankets and rolling onto my stomach. Even though it's been years, the bed still smells like me. Well, a younger me. My right arm tucks under the pillow, and sleep follows quickly. It only seems like a moment has passed, but bright morning light has come to rest on my face, drawing me from slumber reluctantly. I smack my lips, mouth feeling tacky and dry, and want nothing more than a cup of coffee. Climbing out of the bed reveals how stiff I am, ooh, and I gingerly make my way to the door, peeking out before I descend the stairs and head to the kitchen. My tail is still waking up. It gives a few slow shakes behind me as I go through the motions of making a pot of coffee. Still, the same drip machine. It was still the same drip machine. So, being half asleep isn't a problem. Filter, coffee, tap water, start. As the machine comes to life, I open the cabinet above and pull down a small white coffee mug. Time seems to crawl, but eventually the machine comes to a stop with a goigle, and I pick up the pot of coffee, pour slowly, and return it to the warming plate. I collect the mug with both hands, warming them before heading back up to my room. Floorboards creak along the way, my ears twitching as I start to hear faint noises of stirring bodies. I shut the door, then reach down and lock it. It's a few steps to the window, and I draw back the curtains, taking a good look out. Sorry. I had 2 mugs of coffee, so sue me. At the street for the first time since I arrived last night. Yes, my street. The curtains fall back into place with a soft thump as I finally set them free. I curl my free hand once more around the coffee mug and lift it to my lips, pursing to blow across the surface of my drink. The muffled sound of laughter begins a lopsided smile to my face. I think that's Evan. I have to ask what was so funny later. I breathe deeply, enjoying the rich, almost metallic smell of my coffee. The ceramic is hot against my lips, drawing a throaty grunt from me as I take my first drink. It's just after 7 in the morning. Based on my look outside, sorry, just making sure that it was important. The weather cooled off enough overnight for frost to stick. I'm sorry, I'm just like, wait, what? Frost in winter? I mean, in autumn? I know that in Texas, like on the east side, it can get, or in memory, it could get a little chilly during Halloween, but like really. Chilly being like 60s or maybe, like, I don't think 50s, but like where children would have to, bundle up a bit more. Reaching down to the charge station, partially hidden in the bed, I tweave my phone. With an over-exaggerated stretch. And yawn. My body falls back, hitting the mattress with yet another soft whump. At 32, I wasn't expecting to be living at home. Yet, here I am. Hey, I'm 35. I live at home. You know what? That's good. I mean, Here's the things. One, it's a nice place. Two, I mean, it's also like I do that because, one, money, and two, because I have a job where I might be traveling 6 months out of the year. I don't want to be spending a whole bunch of money on a place that could be an expensive storage unit for half of the year. It's like, hey, they never bug me about needing to go see them. Actually, maybe sometimes they're like, hey, when can I come back? And it's like, when work's finished. B, I don't have to pay rent. C, it's a nice place to be. D, I really don't have to worry about, you know, water damage or people going through my stuff. Or because that's like one of the things. It's like, hey, if I had an apartment or a house and, there was a water burst or somebody stole my stuff, I wouldn't know about it till I came back, unless I like maybe a security system. But then like I would be on the like outs at work and be like, oh, my alarm system's gone off. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to worry about that in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm a millennial. It's, it is what it is. And it, gets me quite a bit of nice extra money. Knuckles wander across my chest, scratching, as I yawn and wriggle back till I'm half under the comforter again. If I could just sleep till spring. I mumble while thumbing in the codes to lock my phone. But then again, I'm not a bell. I pull my lips into a bunk to smile at my silly joke and flick the screen a few times and open up my favorite apps, Ruffler. Yeah, he's gonna look for all the boys in the area. So I guess it's like, what, Grinder? It could have also been Growler. Wait, I think Growler's an actual app now that I think about it. Eyes travel over the bed for a brief second, making sure it's locked, before I let my unoccupied hand sneak down and adjust myself through my briefs. Psst. Perfect squares with perfect men. It's never been a boost for my self-esteem, but the voyeur in me has always loved these kinds of apps. There's a bit of worry at the back of my head, wondering if anyone I know uses the app. But after looking at a few handsome faces and headless torso shots, I push it aside. Plus, I haven't been home in almost 3 years. I'm sure anyone who knew me would either be married with kids at this age or surprised to see me back in town. God, that's the thing that always bugs me. It's like, hey, people are married with kids at this age. I'm like, and I'm single as dingle. My claws need to be trimmed. I notice out loud while scrolling through the local meets. Having gotten late, I navigate through the viewer section. Nothing new, surprisingly. But then again, my phone was in airplane mode just before I passed out. My fingers dip beneath the hem of my briefs, sending a shiver down my spine as I tickle myself accidentally. As I click back to the main menu, I go to slip my hand fully into my underwear, reaching down to cup my nuts and give him a firm squeeze. I mean, it isn't even a sex thing sometimes. Sometimes you just are like, you know what, I just gotta grab my balls. Why? To make sure they're there, really. I just lay there like that, gentle pressure on my balls as I begin to examine each little square a little more closely. The black guy in the middle there with the red thing on his face kind of looks not cute. Like, you might not, I don't know. Anyways, also, this right here, you're missing a good point right there. The X shouldn't be there, it should be right here. You know what I'm saying? As a squirrel, it feels like I should be more intimidated by the toothy smiles and mock snarls on some of these faces. But a wolf's a wolf, right? That said, there are some pretty good-looking wolves who aren't that far away. I'm much less interested in the other prey like me, but he can still appreciate a Chasey. Chiseled body. Is that how you spell chiseled? Or there's a deer with his smile that is nice, gorgeous. That black fur framing his lips. It's defining. Fur? Ah. My hand. Oh, I'm gonna have to censor that. My hand shifts from my nuts up to my hard on as I adjust and finally let the tip of my cock pulp free from my boxer briefs. While settling, I've navigated to his profile and clicked his picture so I can zoom in and just admire. I tap out of his picture and scroll down so I can read his profile. It's abrupt and pretty off-putting. No fats, no femmes. Ah. Of course, it starts off that way. I growl underneath my breath. Tail, doing my best, not doing that annoyed scroll shake under the comforter. Also, this artist looks familiar, but I can't quite put it. Not, this art here, but this art here. Just when the real beef can play either role. No fake sense, no telling anyone. It is weird, like, I do have Grindr on my phone, but, I don't know. I have, like, 6 dating apps, but I barely use them. I always just go in there, briefly look at it, maybe swipe right on one, and then barely touch it. Like, I don't know. Dating apps are intimidating, especially, like, I liked OkCupid, like, years and years ago, where you could just, scroll through a list, kind of like on Grindr. But now, OkCupid is like, okay, we have the person we think you're like best, the closest person, somebody far away, but to see the next person, you have to say yes or no to that person. And I don't know, I just always hate that, because it just feels like seeing somebody and having to say yes or no, that just intimidates the hell out of me, I need to use dating apps more. If I wanted to get back in the closet, I certainly wouldn't do it for this guy. If I want to get back in the closet. As sexy as he is, the text certainly dampened my mood. A softening cock agrees completely. Hey, hang on there, buddy. A coo down at my crotch. To keeping things moving, I back out of the Buck's profile, mumbling about how it's too bad, because he does have a nice rack. Also, it's weird, do people go on, like, Grindr, stuff like that, to just jerk off to profiles? I don't know. You think you just go to, like, some porn site, My eyes flick along the row of selfies, vacation spots, and half-naked bodies. Oh, vacation shots, not spots. I'm almost bored as I slowly tug at my dick and click on the profiles of a few of the men. A few handsome coyotes, a boyish field mouse, who I only click on because I can't believe for a moment that he's my age, a thick tiger who's all muscle and has a penchant for fucking in sports gear. A football kit he has on looks great. That meant like Kit Fox. It's not until I scroll down, refreshing the listings, that I notice a pretty modest full body shot. That's the thing, like, I guess Grindr's also doing the thing, because it's like, you can only get maybe 12 people on there before, of the nearest people, before it's like, hey, you need to pay to check out these other people. Hello? It comes out with a whisper, and I give pause to the affection I'm showing myself. There's a gentle knock at the door, and I quickly glance to the top of the screen to see that it's almost 8. It doesn't feel like an hour's passed, but then again, as I look down and notice the feathering of Pre crossing my stomach, reality sets in. I'm awake. I choke, while stuffing myself back in my undies. Of course you are. I don't expect your brothers to know how to make coffee. Comes the amused voice from the other side of the door. Just want to let you know that I'm about to take the twins to school. There's some buckwheat pancakes and bacon holding in the oven if you want them. Okay, where's the bacon come from? Also, these squirrels eat bacon? Kinda sus. Though it is one of those weird things about furry universes where it's like, okay, are all animals furry or are some animals furry? Or or is it like one of those things where it's like one or two species are furry and everything else is animal? But then it's also the thing that's like, where does meat come from? Does it come from actual animals, or is it like in shelter where there's meat trees? But then this is one of the most different things I don't think I can remember seeing in any sort of these things where it's like, here's a prey animal, something that, as far as I know, doesn't eat meat. I mean, apparently horses can eat meat, but anyways, and they're eating bacon, unless it's like a tofu bacon. Thanks, Ma. My body shifts and rolls to the side as I palm up my elbow and grab my now lukewarm cup of coffee and slug it. You're quite welcome, Corey. There's a pause. It's good to have you home. We love you. I have no idea how I miss her approach. The floorboard on the hallway gives a deep creak as she wanders back to the stairs. My ears perk and swivel, and you breathe through my nose as I finish up my mug of coffee. I hear her bark after a few. Evan, Caleb, hurry up, or you're gonna be late for school. In unison, she gets her reply. Coming. Feet are stomping down the hall. God, was I this loud when I was their age? Oh no, somebody shot somebody. I'll have to ask Ma. Then there's a quick rhythmic stamping as they race down the stairs. The door opens and slams, and then just a nice golden silence. I'm not horny anymore, so I set my phone on the nightstand, get on up, and head over to my duffel. Now that I'm free from the warmth of my bed, I can really tell how chilly it is. I shuffle around my clothes, find what I'm looking for, and toss a pair of jeans and a baseball tee onto the bed. Last thing I pull free is a pair of yoga pants. I shimmy into them, then grab my dop kit and head to the door. There's an audible click as I undo the lock, and even though I'm done, I peek my head into the hallway first, glancing in either direction before I slip out and make my way to the bathroom. Jesus, that's a fancy-ass bathroom, as though they are the French. Once the door is closed, I hook my thumbs into my waistline and shunk my pants and underwear in one quick go. I kick them aside and make my way over to the glass door cabinet, where I retrieve a towel. I'm not sure that what I'll get up to today, but even though the clawfoot tub is calling my name, I don't really want to commit that much time in the bathroom. I draw the vinyl curtain and recede to the shower, then reach in to start the water. My hand, sorry, I swear I can read, but for some reason my cadence is bad. My hand adjusts to the timer on the combo fan and heat lamp. Oh yeah. If I'm here for longer than 15 minutes, I can't be guaranteed hot water. It's an interesting thing. Like, I visited Chicago. I guess there's like a heat lamp in the bathroom kind of thing. I guess it's so like when it's cold in the room, you can turn that on so the local areas, you know, warmish when you jump out of the shower. Maybe I should use some of my savings to get a new hot water heater for the house. Mom has mentioned the current one has been dying for the last few years now. At least a year now. After threading my towel through the rack on the wall next to the shower, I dip back to the sink, hands resting against the edge of the porcelain basin as I inspect myself in the mirror. I lean forward to check for my bags under my eyes. Iowa is only a 2-hour time difference from the Bay, but even that is enough to mess up my sleep. Really, you lived in Iowa? What is a pond skipper? Maybe they're meaning like the Great Lakes? You find pond skipper. Plane. Puddle jumper. Slang, a light plane, especially one traveling only short distances or making many stops. Okay. Because usually when there's the term across the pond, which is like across the Atlantic, or English people, but really, huh. I thought with the name La Otome and, with fancy looking bathroom and stuff like that, that these people would be French. But I guess I'm wrong. How are we on time anyways? 36? Okay. Satisfied, I take a long look at myself. Oh, squirrel, I have a decent build. Not overtly bulky, just chipped away to the right proportions. I turn, reflection following suit, obviously, and flex. Yeah, I'm gonna have to censor that too. I mean, he ain't half bad looking as a squirrel. Would bang. Anyways, a buck-toothed grin emerges as I watch my masculine take more visibly shape under my dowy white fur. A giant bristled tail of mine shakes approvingly as my eyes take in that rounded ass. I do hate looking at my body, but yeah. I would say I'm kind of looking like him, but with a bit more build up top, you know? If there's anything I made sure to take away from my personal trainer, it was proper form on squats. My nose itches. I rub it. Oh, sweet fuck. I look at my hand in disgust, then come to the realization that the smell is me. It's somewhere between vinegar and, well, not good. I laugh, making a note to wash my balls, then dip over the shower. Steam is billowing out of the 6 free inches at the top, so I make sure to check the temperature before setting in. Hot, not scalding. As I step in, my body relaxes, and I lean against the wooden wall. Having so much fur means I feel heavy when it gets soaked. But it's good. A sobering affirmation to what's real. Unconsciously, I grab my shampoo from the shower caddy. I blink a few times, water running down my muzzle. Wait, it's just my Dop kit. I bottle in my hands, as the bottom of my hands is the right brand though. Dop kit? I don't know. Of course, Ma would make sure what I need is in the house. It's almost like I haven't left. Having albinism means I have sensitive skin. I know this stuff ain't cheap, so I'll have to pay her back. Lord knows she won't want to take the money, so I sneak it into her purse or something. Using my thumb claw, I open the plastic lid. I squeeze a decent amount of the clear gel into my left hand, then place the bottle back in the caddy. With my fur this wet, I won't need keeping the water running. At least, not while I lather up. Making sure not to adjust the temperature, I press on the faucet, pausing the flow of water for now. Though it costs an arm and a leg, shampoo has always been amazing. This shampoo. You don't really need much to get clean, even when you're as hairy as I am. My hands make quick work of it, bringing the shampoo to a nice foam before I begin to work on my wet fooey. I'm sure that being crammed into a full flight with heaters running full blast, along with sleeping under a cold, weathered down comforter, is why I stink. So, first priority is obviously those trouble spots. I tuck my hands under my arms briefly, leaving a bit of soap before rubbing it at my crotch and under my balls. Sorry, I do that. Reach back under my tail, which looks ridiculously soaking wet, and rug my mitt along the cleft of my rump. I don't think I've ever, like, rubbed my butt. I mean, when after I take a shower, I always use, like, toilet paper to rub that area, to dry it and make sure it's clean, but still. And I've never used soap. Well, for decades, I haven't ever used soap because, as far as I know, I don't smell. You just shampoo, rub yourself all over. Good, because I never like soap. It always dries out my skin. With the soap more or less distributed, I get to cleaning in earnest. My ears perk as I hear a little chirp. 5 minutes till the heat lamp is off. I build a lather through my tail, fingers doing their best to run along the fur of the unruly appendage. God, you can be annoying. I mumble as it flicks in agitation, almost like a kid that doesn't want to be cleaned. By this point, I'm chilly from the lack of hot water. I pull on the faucet and letting out an audible grunt as the hot water flows over my form. I shut my eyes, head dripping and chin meeting my chest as the suds roll down my body. It only takes a minute or so to rinse fully. After shutting off the water, I draw back to the shower curtain and reach for my towel. Sometimes I read it like how I'd assume a AI would read it. After shutting off the water, I draw back the shower curtain and reach for my towel. Maybe I am an AI, though that would mean that I could just replace this hand. I dry as best I can, but having such thick flow means that hair dryer is necessary to finish the job. That's a nice little thing where you see this light on before. It's little shit like that that's pretty neat. The heat lamp clips off as I go about my task, only after getting my tail to adjust damp, do I accept that I'm not going to hurry the process along. I leave the soaked towel in the back of the tub. Water pools away and runs slowly towards the drain. I retrieve my yoga pants and crack the door. Ma? My ears go pert as I listen for a reply. Good. She's still out, so I strip back to my room, tail flicking behind me. That's one thing I don't like about living with family, because I loved being in my college dorm and being like, hey, I can go from my bathroom to my room, which is like adjacent rooms, completely naked. It's fine. There's a bunch of bad things about living there, but still. But when I go visit my mom, there's like maybe 4 feet of outside area between the bathroom that I use and the room that I stay in. But when it comes to living with my dad, which is the main person I, live with, there's the entire house I have to walk through from my personal bathroom to my room, which is a pain in the butt because it's like, well, I'm humid, so I wouldn't want to put my shirt on, but it's like, okay, I need to check around to see if anybody's out there before I walk across the house without a shirt on, kind of thing. There's a moment of rifling through my duffel again, as I pull out a new pair of briefs and a thick pair of socks. I hum to myself as I get dressed. No song in particular, just humming. After pulling on my shirt, I retrieve my phone from my nightstand, press the home button once to give it life, and grin as I stare at the screen. There's a message. It reads, "Hey." I lock the phone, and Ruffer populates the screen again. Oh man, I forgot about you. The profile that caught my interest is once more highlighted. I'll be back. I say it with my best Australian accent. Oh, I'll be back. Oh, what would Schwarzenegger's character be in this universe? It's kind of those things where it's like, what would Jesus's persona be? Maybe a rabbit? Or a lamb? Because he did say he's the Lamb of God and all that stuff. Back button. Menu. Messages. Wait. It was him. He wrote... Who's him? I ain't far away. Though, let me just see. Check. That would be 2.5 something. No, mile, not nanometer. Half a mile away, give or take. And is this the main character? I mean, there's lots of words right there. Kinda looks like him. I click on his profile from the chat log and tap his picture. He's a Wolverine. From what I can tell, what I can see in the picture, that stereotype for being a glutton just may be true. He looks like a giant. When something interests me, I have the habit of taking every detail, like down to a minute. Also, what's the time? 54. I mean 45. I suck. In the photo, he wears an apologetic grin, combined with hazel eyes. He almost looks sad. His hands are raised, like he's shooing away whoever's taking the photo. They're huge. Think of those things in your butt. Fingering you, ooh. I tap his photo, then press pinched fingers to the screen and drag them apart to zoom in. This is when I take in all those tiny details. The deep V in his shirt, those leather patches on his elbows of his tweed blazer, how the fabric of his clothes bunch under his pecs around his crotch. I mean, look at the style of stitching. The metals used for gormets and buckles. Also that bulgy wogey. It's ridiculous. I finally stop myself, zooming back out, and scroll up to take in his handsome face once again. My thumb pauses over the back button, but I want to read his profile before I respond. He's local, only half a mile away. Fuck, he is huge. 6 foot, 6 inches, and 300 pounds. I scroll, ears flicking back slightly, as I read windowed. I can't help but wonder if the person who took the photo was his deceased partner. Oh, widowed, not windowed. There's no mention of age, and the body of his profile is simple enough, like cooking, reading, mostly fiction, and using my hands to create. Spend too much time alone, and working to change that. I click the back button once again, return to the chat. There's butterflies in my stomach, and I really don't know how to answer, so I choose the most insane way to process the progress conversation. Howdy! I quickly type before pressing send. I fly on the bed again, rolling to my side and reaching back to tug my tail free so it can continue to dry. How are you? I follow up a brief moment later. I thumb the power button to the side of the phone, then stretch, body giving a little quiver as I yawn. My phone buzzes, startling me, and I drop it to the floor. Well, that was quick. I roll to my stomach and reach down to grab it. Draped half off the bed, I thumb the home button again, quickly reading his reply. Good. First frost last night. You in town visiting? Something like that. I type in return. We're up in the air, and back for an indefinite period of time. Send. I nudge back from the edge of the bed and stare at the screen. Welcome back. And a moment later, I'm Stefan. A pleasure. I'm Corey. My thumbs type out a quick response. For me too, comes a second later. A stupid grin finds my way to my face, and when the next message pops up, I laugh. So, what kinds of things do you put in jars? It's been a while since I've updated my profile. I had forgotten that I put that in there. Beach glass, corks, augites, string, things like that. I wonder what that's about. There's a longer pause before the next message. That sounds nice. A very organized way to keep collections. I'm something of an amateur chef, so I'm wondering if you meant canning or jams and jellies. Ah. I reach back and drag my hand through the fur of my tail, more or less dry. So I roll on my back and carry on with conversation. I can hold my own in the kitchen, though I wouldn't boast about my abilities. After clicking send, I remember the bacon and pancakes went downstairs. I don't want to get out of bed, but the edge of hunger is setting in. I grunt and I sit up and sling my legs off the bed. My phone is slipping into the pocket of my jeans, and I head on downstairs. We might be able to go a little further. Once in the kitchen, I turn off the oven. It was on the entire time? It was only set to 200. Hopefully the pancakes haven't dried out too much. My pocket vibrates, but it can wait. So I grab my plate and an oven mitt, retrieve the foil-lined cookie tray from the oven and sit it on top of the stove. Utensils are still in the same drawer, and I pause, turning to look at the rest of the kitchen and out in the dining room. Aside from what's held in the fridge, held on the fridge with magnets, and more pictures of Evan and Caleb, not much has changed. I open the fridge and grab maple syrup. My pocket buzzes again. Someone's thirsty. I laugh, and the door closing a paper flutters off the revealing picture of me, and a younger version of me, probably the same age as the twins. I reach up, pressing a couple of fingers to the photo, and wondering how similar I am to the old version of who I am. Don't get sappy. I roll my eyes. Okay, that's a weird thing I just noticed right there. The age. I mean, I guess like there's this. I'm not sure if that would be more age. The dejected look does do the thing. Here's him with the lights in his eyes and him when he becomes adult. Also, he's a twink. I roll my eyes at myself before retrieving the paper. A report card, it turns out, from the floor. It's returned to the fridge door beneath the magnet of a pineapple. My grandmother's, I believe, and I get to preparing breakfast. Unfortunately, the time I spent edging, showering, and just generally dicking around has left the pancakes a little dry. Buckwheat pancakes are good, but they don't tend to retain moisture the same way traditional pancakes do. The bacon is also quite crispy. Nothing a little syrup can't fix, though. As I undo the cap on the grade B. On the grade B. My pocket vibrates again. I can't help but smile as I pour a generous amount of syrup across my breakfast, making note that the rich amber is pretty close to the Wolverine's full. I abandon the jug on the counter and start to cut up my stack, using the side of my fork. At this point, I pull out the phone from my pocket. I click the home button, powering on the device, and feel only a little sad when I see that I've only gotten 2 messages from the gulo. The other text from my mom. From the gulo? What's a gulo? Heading to the store to pick up a few things. Need anything? As it's the most recent messages, I answer first. I could use a new toothbrush. Medium firmness, please. Also, please let me pay you for anything you bought when you know I'm coming here. Back out of the messages and flick back over to Ruffer. Returning to the conversation, I started with Stefan. Eyes darted over his messages in quick succession. Good. I like a partner who can keep up. Followed 7 minutes later by, apologies, that was presumptuous of me. His sad smile flashes through my mind and immediately feel guilty for not responding quicker. My thumbs fly across the miniature keyboard screen. Sorry, my stomach started rumbling when I got to thinking about food, and I had to get something to eat. I click send, but follow up with a photo of pancakes and bacon too. I grab the fork, spearing both bacon and pancake, then take a bite. Maple syrup rose down my chin, so I cleaned up with a knuckle and licked my fingers clean. I'm gonna have to do more than that because I still got sticky fingers. Also, man, this main character is so much more sociable than I am. Like, I know, I have a YouTube channel and stuff like that, and you've porn and whatever, but it's like, I don't think I would have the ability to do that, you know? Also, is this a door right there, or is that like a cabinet area? Because that would be a weird way to come into the kitchen, like in between the oven and a counter. A combination of sweet and salt and earth is really good. What does earth taste like? I wonder if it's kind of like the taste you get when you eat pistachios, but then the nice taste kind of goes away and it kind of tastes dirty. When you eat too many of them. Maybe not too many, but like 30-ish. A lot of people don't really like buckwheat because it does have a lot of nutty, almost earthiness to it. But to me, it feels like home. His response is also an apology. Sorry, I guess it is breakfast. I just thought I may have said something wrong. My nails click on the screen. Please stop apologizing. It's quite alright. Smiley face. I don't know if emotes are appropriate or not, but it's the only thing I can think to add to really show him it's fine. I've been anticipating the next question, but I wasn't sure how direct it should be. So, what do you usually look for in a guy? I take another bite, thinking about that. With how sincere he's been, I'm honestly not sure how to answer. Usually by this point, I'm at least familiar with the other guy's junk. Cockshots are the usual response to hello in San Francisco. So wait, he went from Iowa to San Francisco? What a hard question. They have to at least have at least some nice teeth, I finally answer. And after rereading makes me just look like a bit crazy, so I follow up with bad teeth scare me. Which also, after reading, makes me look even more crazy, so I swallow what I'm chewing ooh and quickly type, but really, it's about the chemistry, right? How well you get along, how you complement each other. I shouldn't have been worried about using emotes because his answer is simply LOL. I can feel my ears flush and stab a piece of bacon and smear it through the syrup. There's a couple more messages from him, in short order though. Very true, the teeth made me laugh. Actually a laugh. And compatibility and chemistry are very important. As I nibble and over the overcrisp bacon, I can't really think how to respond, so I just continue with what I got. Smiley face. I get really uncomfortable around people with bad teeth. I don't know why. I do know why, but I don't want to tell him. His response is quick. Mine are normal. Oh, so he's not English. I can only assume that the picture he sends was just taken. He's smiling. It's genuine, and so different than the one in the photo I studied earlier. Kind of looks like what you think an average furry would look like. Or, furry self-shot. A pair of copper-framed glasses sits atop his muzzle. I don't think he's wearing a shirt, but it's hard to tell since this really is just a candid selfie. The smile, though, no, his lips have parted, so I have a decent look at his teeth. He has good teeth. Also, I'm a dentist. They're good. The message slides down from the top of the screen. Another text from Mom. Got you a toothbrush. No money needed. Maybe buy a pizza tonight for us? I tap the home key and send her a quick response. Sounds good. See you in a bit. Back. Swipe. Buffer. I click out of the photo, back to the conversation, and find the response. See? Real teeth. Smiley face. I take a few more bites, chewing slowly, before answering. You're very handsome. Again, his response is almost immediate. As are you. A couple of seconds later, another loads. It's also one of the most relaxed conversations I've had here. Thank you. Having finished breakfast, Alright, rinse the plate, and then deposit in the dishwasher. You're welcome, I type out. I take a deep breath and stretch. His response again is quite quick. Would you like to meet for coffee? And then, after that, if you're not busy, that is. What the hell? I say aloud, typing an answer. Cup of joe. 10 o'clock? The response is succinct. I'll see you there, Corey. But we didn't say where. To be continued? Huh. I guess I must have read it wrong. Oh, so these are like people's actual pictures? Ah. But seriously, you're really missing the thing you could have done here where the X would be right between the butt cheeks. Why didn't you do that, my butt? It's kind of a funny thing, like, I got a commission from somebody, like, a couple of months ago, and then I was like, this artist's art looked familiar, at which point I looked, because they had very good smiling teeth, like, icons or teeth things, and then I was like, this looks familiar, and then I found out they were the artists for Komorebi, which is kind of cool. I mean, yeah, I guess it's kind of the thing where it's like, yeah, if they do art for video games, they probably also do commissions, but it's also like, you know. It's kind of funny, because like I got like pictures of 4 headshots. It's kind of cool looking. But yeah, Well, we already did Glory Hands, and I plan to do a Let's Play of it, but let's click that one so we can check that out. And that one. We might add these to the list of video games to do stuff of. Quick looks. It's really weird because let me just reread the thing. Okay, let me chapter 1. Okay, so I misread that. I thought there were 13 chapters, which I was like, oh, this is long, or could be long, but no, they have 1 chapter, which would explain stuff. Though I do find this really weird, that game is l'automate, or is that how you'd say it? I don't know, it sounds very Frenchy, at which point it's like, okay, he's not French, as far as I know. He's probably not French. Also, he lived in Iowa and moved to San Francisco or something like that. I don't know. A boot? Well, I guess now it's time to do the random number generator of destiny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Random number generator of wisdom, give us a sign. Was it 11? Number 2, which is Deers and Deckards. So let's turn this one off right here. Close it. And put it up. I'm so glad I figured out this thing because A, it shows you, but also B, I don't have to re-listen to myself and try to remember. I just look at the last couple of seconds. Probably should audio check all these ones before starting it. But yes. I was about to say preferences, but no, Deers and Deckards. Is it deers? Oh, okay, there is a deer. I don't know, it's like, wait, deers and Deckards. But that's two scalies. Where's the deer? Unless that's some kind of, like, thing. Boy, these guys are all himbos. Anyways. Synopsis. You goes to visit your best friend for a weekend of fun games. There, you also get to meet his dad, making a stay more eventful than expected. You're the buck. Horseman. Oh, there's another deer, I guess. Oh, your dad. Okay. God, everybody has such big bulgy wogies. Yeah, that's it. So, the end of this quick look. So comment, guys, I like comments, something you like, dislike, tips, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like say grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos that grow. Please learn to spay near animals to help control the pet population. And if you want to play the previous game, it's available free on itch.io. They don't have a Patreon that I see. They have a Twitter and... what's this cloud? Blue Sky. Okay. And for this current game, it's available for free on itch.io. Oh, yeah, they do have Patreon for playing games early. Yep, early access is $5 a month, as per usual. As well as other stuff, I guess. Anyways, until next time, quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix of this game. So anyways, thanks and see ya.